starting with making sure that we're sitting up nice and tall. So think about where your sitting bones are. So sometimes it's best to sort of part the bum and make sure that you can feel the sitting bones into the chair, and that you want to pull the tummy button back so there's some engagement in your center. You've got your feet in parallel, direct, and your ankles beneath your knees, and you're thinking about the crown of the head really reaching up towards the ceiling. And we're going to start with that really slow movement in the shoulder. You can choose whichever shoulder you want to start with. And all you're going to do is, for a count of 20, you're just going to very slowly start to lift the shoulder. So, in fact, the slower you move, the more effective this is. The point is, it's trying to make a connection with your brain to where your body is sitting. So I'm lifting the shoulder really, 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 really slowly, and then you wait until your shoulder is right up by your ears. So if you can get any higher, and then hold it there. I'm going to count to 20, or I'm going to give it 20 seconds, and just hold it there. And it's until it feels a little bit uncomfortable, and there's some tension building, and it feels, maybe sometimes you get a bit of a burn. And then what we're going to do is very slowly lower it back down. So as slowly as you raised it, you start to lower it back down. And what you start to find is, particularly as you get closer and closer towards where you think the bottom is, you start to think, oh gosh, it's still going down. And it's still going down further and even further. And you start to make a connection that actually maybe where you should be holding your shoulder is a lot lower than where you were holding it before. And if you look at me now, I can see my left shoulder is lower than my right. So I don't know whether you felt that, but you can really feel it's much more relaxed on this side. So let's do the same on this side. So I'm with my right shoulder, I'm going to start pulling it up. I put this program together because actually when I arrived, I think because of all the stress of moving, I got a really bad neck, and it just completely locked up. So I started revisiting all my neck and shoulder exercises. So we wait until we've got that shoulder right up towards the ear, and then we're just going to hold it there. Make sure you keep this one nice and relaxed. And we're just holding it. And we hold it and hold it. And what you need to do is like practice this maybe once in the morning in front of a mirror, ideally, and maybe only for about 3 days in a row, something like that. And after that, your brain will have made the connection that you are meant to hold your shoulders lower than you think. We start to go and sink that shoulder down now very slowly. And what you'll notice is that maybe when you're doing something, maybe like driving or you're sitting watching TV, you'll notice for yourself that you're holding tension in your shoulder, and you'll correct it. Whereas, so what we're teaching it now is you're teaching your brain where you're meant to hold your shoulder. And hopefully now you can feel that those shoulders are a little bit lower. So from here, I want you again to think about your posture, and I want you to pull the tummy button back, keep the shoulders nice and relaxed and heavy, and then I want you just to tilt the ear towards the shoulder and just hold it there for a second, and then bring it back to center, and then over to the other side. Make sure it's ear to shoulder and keep those shoulders nice and relaxed. And then over to the other side, gently. And then we'll lift back up and over to the other side. And we're then going to add a hold with your hand. So you're going to do the same, ear to shoulder. And then this time, just to give that a little bit more of an extra stretch, just allow your hand to relax on your head. Keep thinking heavy arm on the other side. And then bring it back up. We'll try that on the other side. So over to the other shoulder. Hold the head and just allow that neck to stretch out. And then we'll lift back up. And then we're going to add to this your side bend. So you're going to do ear to shoulder. So that's the top of your spine. Then you're going to lift that arm up towards the ceiling and then keep on going. Think about sending that hand up towards the corners of your room and remember to lift that armpit up towards the ceiling. And then you're going to lower that arm back down, keep the head and back where it is, and then press the arm down to lift yourself back up. And then over to the other side, you're going to ear to shoulder, then lift the arm up, and then reach over, keep going. This is your lateral flexion into your back. Hold it there. And then gently lower that arm down, don't move the head, neck, or back. And then press the arm down to lift you back up. And then we're going to do the same again on each side. This time though, I want you to really think about pushing the ribs out even more. So I'm going to now sort of think sending my ribs over to the side of the room. See if I can get a little bit more space. And then I'm going to lower the arm back down. And then press the arm down to lift myself back up, nice and tall. And then the same, oh, I forgot my head. It's because we're always taught to raise our arm first, and I always forget. So lift the arm up and over, and I'm also thinking about pressing my rib cage out. And then lower that arm down. And then press the arm down to lift yourself back up. Lovely. Okay, so from here, we're just going to start with some wrist movement, because if you've been in front of your computer and using your mouse or anything, our wrists get, well, some of us get RSI, you know, that repetitive strain injury in our wrists, just from using the mouse all day. Let's rotate these wrists the other way. And that in itself is working those forearms. And then I want you to start flicking the fingers out. So when we flick, a little bit closer. When we flick, I sort of flick along the thumb, and then imagine you're flicking water off your fingers. So I want you to flick, 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 flick with your arms out in front. And then I want you to take your arms up above your head, so up towards the ceiling. And then out to the side, right out to the side, and then back in front. Don't know about you, but my forearms are burning. And then give them a shake. And you might want to rub them a little bit. And we're going to do that again, but we're going to reverse it. So you're going to start out in front, flick, flick, flick. Really good for your circulation. Really good if you've got any issues with your fingers. Out to the side. Some people have arthritis in their fingers, or really important to keep them strong. And then up to the top. Oh, I'm getting really weak now. It's too much decorating. And then I'm going to shake them out. And then one more in front. And then release and give them a shake. Okay, so I'm going to just tilt the camera down a little bit, because I'd like you to see what's going on with my legs. So here we're going to do some work on the hips. So again, I still want you to think about your middle, and I want you to be really thinking about pulling the tummy button back. I'll just show you what I'm doing sideways on. So what we're going to do is just start with a lift, a thigh lift. It's very important to keep the spine upright, because if you start tilting back, you're using your back and we're not using the hip flexors. So I want you to think really nice, tall spine, lifted spine, and then we're just going to lift the thigh. I'm going to hold it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. And the same side, I want you to do it again. Lift for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower back down, and one more. And lift for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. I'm going to do the other leg. So again, same. Lifting the thigh, keeping nice and tall. 3, 2, 1. Lower back down. And again, lift for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower back down. And one more, and lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to swap legs again. We're going to slightly change the movement. So we're going to lift the thigh, and then you're going to go out to the side. Bring it back. I hope you're not cheating and using your swing chair. So lifting, I'm keeping really centered. I'm just taking my leg out to wherever it will go to without disturbing my spine. Bring it back and then lower. And one more time, lift. This is abduction in the thigh, in the hip joint. And then adduction as you bring it back and then lower. And we'll do the same on the other side. I don't know about you, but I can feel this working already. So you can lift, and then it's out to the side, not disturbing the back. This is all happening in the hip. Bring it back and lower. And again, lift. Go out to the side. Hold it there. Bring it back. Lower. And one more. Lift. Out to the side. Bring it back and lower. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to split stance. So I'm going to split so I have one foot slightly in front of the other. You won't be able to see my feet quite, but I'm going to just have a split stance. And we're going to just practice coming up to stand and sitting back down. So very like our Pilates squat. So all I want you to do is just take your weight forward. Notice my back is in neutral. So I'm just going forward, and then I'm going to come up to standing, and obviously no help with the hands, and then come back down. So keep that back nice and neutral. Just tip forward, head beyond the knees, and then you lift, and then take the hips back and sit. Very tricky if you do have a chair on rollers. And come back up, and then sit back down, and then we're going to do swap the feet. So I'm going to swap feet round and do the same. So we're going to tip forward and come up. Take the bottom back. Keep the back in neutral. And again, tip forward and up. And then come back down. And one more like that, tipping forward and up. Press those hips forward and come back down. We're going to bring the legs into parallel. We're going to do the same. This is your pure Pilates squat. So we'll just have your hands onto your shoulders, and you just tip forward and come up. Press those hips forward, so don't stay in a slightly sort of sitting position, and then take the hips back and come all the way down. And tip forward and press up. Think about pressing down into your heels, and then taking the hips back. This is good practice for your Pilates squats, because I think sometimes when we don't have a chair behind us, we don't go as low as we could when we're doing them in class. So the whole aim is to make sure you get that depth. And we'll just do one more like that. And then we're going to come back to sitting. So from here, I just want you to roll those shoulders. I want you to take the shoulders in a big circle backwards. Make sure those shoulder blades are coming down your back as you roll them down. And then we'll reverse it. So we'll take them up and over. That's it. And last one. And then I'm going to have my palms facing back, and I'm going to press the arms back as far as they will go. And then we're going to look to the left and then look to the right, come back to center, and then take the arms all the way up to the ceiling and then back down again. Press them as far back as they will go without disturbing the spine. Look left, look right, come back to center, lift the arms all the way up and back down, past those shoulders. We're going to look to the right and then to the left and center, and arms up to the ceiling. And again, press them all the way back and squeeze the shoulder blades together as you look to right, to left, and center. And then take your hands to your shoulders. We're going to squeeze your elbows together. And then you're going to take the elbows as wide as they'll go, and you're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together and lift. Think about lifting that hook in your chest up towards the ceiling. And then again, squeeze the elbows together. And then take the elbows nice and wide and lift the chest up towards the ceiling. And again, squeeze the shoulders. And then lift the chest. And one more like that. Squeeze. And squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then from here, we're going to go into your kayaking. So I just want you to paddle forward. That's it. So think about lifting those elbows as high up towards the ceiling. So I'm trying to think about getting them right up towards the ceiling each time I go around. You'll get really good movement through the spine. And then we'll reverse it. Again, I'm trying to get my elbow right as vertical as I can make it. That's it. Yeah, nice. And you let the spine move with that movement. And then bring the arms down and just give yourself a little shake. And you're all done.